Welcome back to another Sandy Expedition
video.
So it's been a little over 18 months since we've had our Toyota LandCruiser 79 Series, affectionately known as Sandy. I think we've gotten it to a point where we're pretty happy with it and we're ready to do a walkthrough and also discuss why we've chosen it as our tow vehicle. It didn't happen overnight. In fact, 2 days out from picking up our caravan, we only just received Sandy. So it was a little bit of a mission to get it ready just to pick up the caravan. But I'm sure we can touch on that in a little bit as well. But this was Nick's childhood dream car as well. And for us, we did have a little bit of a criteria in terms of what we were looking for in this car. It is number one, our tow vehicle, but it is also Nick's daily as well. So for our criteria, and again, everyone's needs are different, so what you're going to prioritize might be different to our priorities, but for us, it was the practicality and the versatility, followed by reliability. Budget then came into it, followed by comfort. So yeah, I guess we'll touch on that.
So, work, play. So it had to suit our needs. Well, even with the dogs, everything had to be in account. So I'm in excavation myself, so I'm always on site, muddy tools, shovels and all that. So the wagons were never really an option, as well as the dogs. We needed a separate compartment, like a dog box is not on here at the moment. We've got to incorporate something. But the wagon, like the muddy.
Yeah, we just didn't want the dirt and the debris being inside the car where we were sitting as well. We both suffer allergies, so again, having a separate canopy for either the dogs or tools, or even we carry spare parts and tools just for while we're traveling as well. It's super handy for that too.
Yep. What's the next one?
I guess even we could touch on that. Again, we're not just towing the caravan because Nick's in construction, and again, occasionally we like our fishing and boating as well. Sometimes Sandy is towing an excavator, sometimes it's towing a boat. We'll touch on what we've done to the suspension and some airbags as well, so that we can play around with the different weights as well.
Like when we just came with a swag going up the big high country, like, the arse end isn't over, like the suspension is like, if you got a crazy, like say you got a crazy GBM or a crazy suspension and you're like stiff in the arse end and the comfort isn't there. But we've gone a lower leaf spring paired up with a set of airbags, so when the van is, we can pump them up to counter that, and then when the van isn't on or we're not towing anything, you can let the bags right down and then it's still comfortable. And
you feel it as well, even when we're on corrugations and we've played around with it a little bit, and when we've had the dogs in the back versus when we haven't. By playing around with the airbags, you can feel that stiffness come and go as
definitely.
well.
Like we'll show you later in the walkthrough, but I do have in-cab controls, which makes life so much easier. Before I was like just plugging it in, and mate, it's a game changer. So if you've got like airbag suspension, maybe look at the in-cab controls, but we'll touch on that again a little bit later.
I guess the next factor was reliability for us. So again, Toyota LandCruiser parts are relatively accessible. They are, number one probably for the mining industry, as well as construction as well.
Yeah.
So
like if you're doing your lap of Australia and you break down, like I'm sure Tom down the road's got a LandCruiser at the mine site, or there's one area, there's ones on the farms and mine site. So again, like the parts are more available than if we did go, say, an American truck, for an example.
So another consideration we did make as well is we wanted a diesel car versus a petrol car. When we did Lightning Ridge, which was actually in my car, it was a diesel, but we did see signs everywhere that there was no unleaded for 300 kilometres, so that was in the back of our mind. And then we recently just did the Great Central Road, and you can get Opal, but from what we hear with unleaded cars is then you have to mix your 98 with your Opal, so again that just adds another layer, another factor. And then we also wanted a manual as well.
That's right.
Yeah, Nick can probably touch on a little bit.
Probably just if you are stranded, you do run, your battery's dead, at least you can still jump start it. You got more control of the vehicle, in my opinion. and the autos probably tend to hit up if you're towing them. I'm sure you could do supporting modes out there like a cooler or whatnot, but I just think that you're driving the car, you're not letting the car drive for you. That's, yeah.
Next point for us was budget. So again, I guess base level on this versus say an American track or more of a standard track where you need a different license as well. There's an additional, I guess, base cost factor. Obviously with this being a lower base cost, you can kind of build it up as well, and again, you don't have to do it overnight. One of Nick's favourite sayings is a poor man pays twice, and that's kind of how he's gotten a few things over the line with me, but I do believe he's right in saying that.
Don't get me wrong, from the factory now, and especially the demand, and they're not making the V8s anymore, they are harder to get and they are pretty pricey, but you could sort of build it up to customise it to suit yourself, but they're pretty like reliable straight out of the factory. You don't have to do much to it. Like we've got it to a stage now, we've done the tune, and it's a lot better than not having it tuned.
But yeah, you can kind of get away without doing the upgrades up front, and you can kind of build on them. So yeah, for that reason, I guess it makes it a little bit easier to get into that market as well, to start owning a caravan and travelling with a caravan. This is our first caravan setup as well. And then I guess the next factor for us, lastly, was comfort. I don't think it's that bad.
It's not there. No comfort's there.
But yeah, 10-12 hour drive, you might start to feel a little bit sore. But of course, there's upgrades you can do as well. Nick wants his Recaros.
Well, I did want to squeeze the Recaros in before we left, but
didn't happen yet.
The bank account said no. Or Vic said no.
Maybe one day. Does that lead us into our walkthrough?
Yeah, that probably leads us into our walkthrough. Like, you can sit here all day going on about it. I'm sure we can spill into another video of comparing other like tow rigs out there. But
yeah,
this is our tow rig, and we thought we'll show you guys a little bit about it and do a bit of a walkthrough. So we might flip the camera around and do a walkthrough and what we've done.
Sounds good.
So we'll just start at the front of the car here. So a bit closer. So we've done the summit bar, the ARB summit bar, paired with two laser spotties. Man, they're bright as, I think it's 11 or 12k Bush Ranger winch. It's a symphonic rope, so that's all in there. GME radio at the front here. Go around. It's running 33 Mickey Thompson's all-terrains, so that's pretty good off-roading, and you know, touch wood, we haven't had any issues with them. The last pair, we've got about 60,000 Ks out of them, so these are a couple of weeks in now. MSA tow mirrors, what a game changer these are. So these fold out all the way like that. We had the old mirrors when we first started touring. Every road train would go past, it would like flick the mirror back, and when we got back, Danny got hooked me on to these, so thanks again. So we've got the sides, ARB side step and scrub bars, so they've come in handy. We've already got a bit of damage there. I think they was just from Justin's gate, so thanks for that. At the top here, we've got the Rhino rack, so that's the Piney 5, I think it is, or Piney 6, one of the newer ones. So that's up the top there. So I just done a high lift jack for, so we didn't have that earlier, but doing probably on this trip maybe the Cape and a few other sketchy tracks, we need a jack that could lift the car pretty high if we got stuck in a pretty bad rut and we've done a tyre. So that's what that's there for. And then we've got these two the lights. Oh, sorry, I've got the light by the front here. But they're bright as, that's awesome. Alright, so at the back here, which I'm stoked with, I'm excited, like kid in the can still here. This was a dream to go on this. So this is the newest edition, so New World Elite tray. So that's one of the newer trays that come out with, and with a half box. So a bit of backstory here. We originally had the train canopy on order. I had a compact 1500 on order with a dog pod in it. Then I was in line for the build. I told, look, I don't want the canopy, I've changed my mind, just want to go and do this trip. So the tray come in, and then like, oh, I want the canopy. So it was pushing it for time. We were leaving, and their build was a bit delayed at that time. So I jumped on Marketplace, I found a second-hand New World canopy. It was a different colour. That come off a Cruiser also, so that's this one here. We've got that painted and it looks new. like that's good. So inside here we've got the 85 Bushman fridge, so there's no bees in there at the moment, it's a bit depressing. Around here we've got the Red Vision display, so got the lights set up there. We've got the hardcore lights in here, so they're the 3-stage light. So that's on both sides. Pull out drawer and table, so that's all custom. That wasn't done for Norwell, that was done for a family friend of mine. But yeah, just a false floor, upright fridge and table. Under box storage, I probably won't open them, they're a bit messy. Look at this, just zoom in here. See the amount of red dirt around here, but then inside there's no red dirt.
Clean.
So that just goes to show the seals of Norwell, they actually work. It's at the back here. So yeah, the half canopy at the back with the pair of 33. So on this trip we opted to go to the second spare just because we are going so remote. Pull out trundle drawer, so that's got all my spare parts, tools, and all recovery gear at the back there. So that's pretty handy. And this table, awesome for the barbecue. We've got a barbecue set at the back here, so they'll probably come in handy when we are trips without the van, which is the rooftop tent of the swag. So that's massive. That's a bonus. And then underneath there, we've also got a 40-litre water tank from Norwell. So that's what this tap here is, the gravity. So that's your gravity pump there. Oh, that's primed. Sorry, there's no water in there because we just filled up the caravan. So we've got the twin ARB compressor air tank in there. We've got our, it's a bit messy, sorry about that. We've got the water pump underneath there. So that's the marine water pump. And then this is like the gravity fed for the tank there. So that comes factory with Norwell, but we've added the same one over here. So we've added the pressure one there for the tank. But again, you see all the red dirt, it's filthy, all up here, but inside is nothing, so that's awesome. Alright, so that brings us, probably not going to open this side's a mess. Alright, so this side is, Jesus, what's going to fall out of here? Alright, so this side is the brains of the sort of the 12-volt system. So I did forget to show, it was a bit hard to show on the other side, but we've got a battery at the back there. It's just an AGM, but I want to change that for a 200 amp lithium for when we're not towing the van. And we've just got the Enerdrive 2000 watt inverter at the back there. That was for the coffee machine, but the battery wasn't big enough, so the coffee machine's at home. We've got, this is the Red Vision, sort of the brains for the whole system. So, and then we've got the hardcore lights on this side as well, which is all controlled from the fridge side. But just spare coolant, oil, that's our for the boat loader, so you'll probably see that in another upcoming video, and just spare parts and whatnot. Alright, we'll hide this away. Alright, at the top here, I don't know if you've seen that already, but that's our tinny, and that came on this trip and we are super excited for it. So we've got the Armac boat loader and we've got the tinny on top. These still in testing, I've got to reconfigure that, but the boat hasn't fallen off yet. Alright, up the top here you'd have seen before we went away, we did our last video we posted of preparing. We installed the runner rack shovel. They're all locked at the moment, but they just it's not locked, so that just unclips there. That was locked, and then they just latch back in there, but you'd have seen that in the last video, so I don't think I have to go too much in depth in that one. And then we just have the safari snorkel at the front here. But yeah, should we show inside? Alright. So in the cockpit, Camry steering wheel, isn't that great? You spent over 100 grand for a car and you still get a Camry steering wheel. So that hasn't changed yet. Would like to get the 300 series put on one day, and then cap the controls and whatnot. So this is the display for the mirrors, sorry, the adjustment. And I did forget to mention, we do have a 110 litre long range tank when we fill up on those longer trips, and just a reduct brake controller here. At the front here we've just got our camera for the caravan, GoPros at the front, GME radios here, and then the thing I'm most excited about, we've got the Polaris head unit. That's pretty handy. We've also got the in-cab airbag control, so that is a game changer when we adjust in the van, different heights. Even when I'm unhooking the van, I could bring them right down for the in-cab. So we've got the control for the air compressor. You can hear that going there now. And we've also got we can lift it up and down from in here. And I forgot to mention as well, paired with the twin air compressor, we've got a log style air tank behind the box there. But yeah.
And my cup holder.
That's your cup holder?
Yeah.
I don't care because I don't get to use it.
So this concludes our walkthrough and the reasons behind we've chosen this beast as our tow rig.
Yep. It doesn't happen overnight, so take your time with it. Like we said, we've built this up over the last 18 months, and a massive shout out to Danny and the boys at DC 4x4. They helped us out massively along the way with advice, just the pride they took into their work and doing it all.
Yeah, and getting it to where we wanted it as well.
Yeah.
It's customised, it's personalised, it met our needs.
It serves more than one need, like towing the big rig, towing a big boat maybe in future, towing the excavator for work, chucking the tools inside, chucking dogs in the back. Like, it's so versatile. It's just a warhorse, and
That's what we wanted.
it's ticked every box. But yeah, I think that concludes this video. And if you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments. Go check out our other video of when we've just set out to do the lap of Australia. So that was posted last week, I think, or last Sunday. But go check that out. And we're currently on the road on the west coast, so there'll be a big series, a big lap around Australia, and we're going to bring you guys along with it. So make sure you've subscribed, you've hit that little like icon, that like, you know, the notification one that just notifies you that new video is posted, and make sure you keep on top of it. And yeah, sounds good.
Enjoy.
Done. I like it.
Sure.